And next week, I probably have a convention, so I probably won't then make it. So I think that's important to go over the three sedras, which has to be a beginning of the machlekes between Yosef and his brothers, and to understand which that mashma we see from this week's and in VaYigash this week's thing is going to talk about yichud again, bringing Klal Yisrael back together again, and stuff like that. So obviously it was the pirud of Klal Yisrael, of Malchus Yisrael, of Malchus Yehuda, and if you take a look in Perek Ayin Ches and Tilim, how David HaMelech discusses Shiloi Keneged Yerushalayim, Yosef, Moas Hashem B'miva Yosef, and whatever it is, that is obviously there was some kind of residue that existed for a long time, and that I think maybe one of the points of Golus is that to get rid of it. We don't ask any kashis what shavit you come from. We don't know where the guy comes from. It's Hayid. You're welcome already. You're one of my people, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And there was no gaiva, there was no what he called in this, whatever pshadins, and to learn about it, and he's given, who even talks about Efrim and Asher, the chilukim on it. So obviously this rifyan is something that has to be gotten rid of, and Shiloh is what caused it, and what it is. So I've been trying to and metallics all these things, at least in the understanding of what the Maisa was. The first question that bothered me always was, what was Yosef trying to do? You know, it was with the Sinyan of your Meraglim, your this, what was he trying to do? If he was really trying to make shalom, in other words, and he realized that there's going to be shalom b'soif, or he hoped that there'd be shalom b'soif, you're going to have a lot of answers to all the people that are standing there. I mean, all the Mitzrayim, that you don't recognize your brothers, and all of a sudden they're your best friends. Let's place them on a cup. You know, this is a king, he doesn't know who he's talking to, and stuff like this. He immediately accuses somebody, and all of a sudden he finds out they're his best friends, they're his brothers. It doesn't even make sense. Why would he put himself into such a position? And what did he want to accomplish with this position? So one of the time, and there's more kashas. Why do you cry at certain times? That the Torah makes a point of putting it down, that he cried and stuff like that. So going into the Inyan of Mekates. Now, obviously, I think we mentioned originally, maybe we didn't, VaYeshev, I don't remember if we did it at that time or not, talked about that the actual cholam of Yosef, in other words, you got to be crazy to go over to your brothers who don't like you or jealous of you and so on and try to rub it in. You got to be crazy. Elavos, he really had a shaila. In other words, nowhere in his dreams, in the two dreams that the Torah brings down, do we find that the Shiftei Kah bowed to him. You don't find that. You find the Simonim of them, meaning the Yiralef Kechavim, and the Chama Levana, which is father and mother, they're bowing, the Simonim bowed to him. The people didn't bow to him. We're all there, because we're all Ma'alman Alumais, right? We're all there, yet what happened? My Aluma stood up, and you guys all bowed down, your Alumas bowed down to my Aluma. So it don't make sense. If it's a malchustic thing, if that's what I'm dreaming about, I should be dreaming about you guys bowing to me. Why am I talking about Simonim and stuff like that? All of us, if we would have thought about it, and we sat down b'shalom and been able to analyze the thing together, somebody would have come up and said, maybe it's pshat, you're going to be in charge of, you're going to be the quartermaster of Klal Yisrael, you're going to bring the food into Klal Yisrael. That's what's going to happen. In that case, it has nothing to do with Malchus, you're my Yevid, if you want to put it that way, you're just supplying me with food, so it's a Chavadigut. Okay, the Malchus to take care of my Avodim, so fine. but it's not something to be angry about necessarily. So a lot of times what causes people to make the wrong interpretations of things is anger. In other words, they were upset with him in the first place, so automatically they touched it up the wrong way without even analyzing it. In other words, because it had to do with subservience of some sort, so it must mean that you want us to be your servants or something like that. So therefore, that was the thing there. So first of all, the Torah is teaching me the basic midas of don't jump to conclusions until you know what you're talking about. And that's the thing. It is, of course, most our arguments are going to be misconceptions. I never meant to say that. I never meant to do this. It's all the thing there. Okay. Anyway. So he puts him in jail, and we have to learn something, another one, that the pshat is to realize that you don't accomplish anything. There's a shaila person has to know the din of ishtadlus, what's on him to do, and what is the Rebbeinu Shem does, and how much to rely on the Rebbeinu Shalom and stuff, on when to rely on the Rebbeinu Shalom, when there's something called too much ishtadlus, when there's some things. So there are different things in different places you ought to think about, but that's a big thing. You see that when he tried to do ishtadlus when he shouldn't have, or he did too much ishtadlus, what happened? Vayishkochehu. The Sa'amashkin forgot him. He was still in jail another 2 years. Right? The same minute he says, Bilodai, Hashem Yanis Shalem Pari, 5 minutes later he's a melech. From a prisoner to a melech in 5 minutes. I mean, so obviously I'm running the show, so then leave it up to me. I'll take care of it. We do have to do some things and stuff like that. So therefore, we're mechuyev to know the differences when you can do something, when you can't do something, and that's an important lesson that we should know that everything is min hashemayim. There's nothing that we really accomplish. About the need to know the difference between a nes and teve, there is a name called ishtadlus. If a person does ishtadlus with feeling I'm accomplishing, that is treif. And I think that if the ishtadlus is I have to do because that's what the Torah demands and I do, so I can do whatever it is, and then the question is how much ishtadlus I do. Am I mechuyev to be a steal? Am I mechuyev to do that? Or nein? Since God is the one that's doing it, I don't have to do any of these things because I'm not going to accomplish anything anyway. The Rebbeinu Shalom is the one that's giving it to me. So if he's giving it to me, he's going to give it to me the right way and stuff like that. So there's a certain, I automatically eliminate a certain amount of what's called ishtadlus then. In other words, I don't have to slide, I don't have to sneak, I don't have to try to get ahead in my business, to speak lashon hara about the other guy. It's all not necessary. Because the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to put you there if he wants you there, or he's not going to put you there if he doesn't want you there. So it's not going to make a difference. You're not accomplishing anything. So doing averas, or doing things that are not right, or even they smell not right, you don't do them. Because it's not going to help you in any way. The things, and if it's successful, and you think that it would have been successful without it also. But you should know. So when you come in the thing, the brothers through Yosef, they sold Yosef, or they really didn't sell Yosef, whatever it is there, because for the psukim is not mashvat they sold Yosef. It says that the Medanim sold Yosef to the Ishmael. Doesn't say about the brothers. And there's a long Takir Rashbam, Takir who says they did anything. But he himself says it, that you sold me here. I'm your brother, you sold me here. So that could be you caused me to be sold here. They threw me in the ditch, whatever it is there. Or the pshat is the takir. So we should know that our enemies learn all the things that the Midrashim talk about. In other words, the king of the Rome that killed the Asor Rugi Malchus, the pipe that makes it like in place of the Asors of the Shvatim. So obviously that they knew. In other words, you sold your brother. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah we sold our brother. You sold your brother, you chayiv misa for it. So therefore we know to kill Jews. We're willing to kill Jews even on a medrash, and stuff like that, even if we don't say it in the Fedish. That you should know. Anyway, Yosef sets up this whole business of selling stuff, and his brothers come. What does his brothers do? So it says 2 times the pasuk says the same thing. First it says, "Vaya Yosef v'secha vaya kirem." He saw his brothers and he recognized them. Vayisnaka aleim vayedaber item koshes. He wanted to get even with them, and he spoke very tough words with them. Right. Then the next pasuk, that's pasuk Zion. Pasuk Ches, "Vaya ke Yosef v'secha v'hem lo yikiruhu." He recognized his brothers; they didn't recognize him. So Rashi says on that pasuk 2 pshatim. One is the simple one, that he recognized them because they had beards already and he didn't have a beard, and they didn't recognize him because now he's a fully grown guy with a beard, so he don't recognize him. Medrash Agoda, they didn't treat him like a brother, but he treated them like a brother. He treated them like a brother. He throws them into jail. He goes to speak cautious to them. He says, "I'm going to kill you all." What kind of treat me like a brother? What do you tell me treat me like a brother? So what's pshat? So I want to tell you this is, and then it says, "Vayiske Yosef es hachalomis." That means till now you didn't remember the chalomis, and they think that it was not important. They didn't realize that was the iker, and there was not maybe the iker, or whatever it is there in the relationship. But now he understood. This is what happened, I think. Both pshatim are right in Rashi. Now the first was recognizing physically, you have a beard, and I didn't have a beard, so maybe you don't recognize me. I recognize you. But I wanted to do bad to you, and I saw I can't. He wanted to make shalom with them, and he didn't want to put him in jail. He doesn't want to do it. I just thought a minute before I wanted to go and kill you, and now I really don't want to do it. Right? So if that's the case, what's wrong? What's happening here? So remember the chalomis, what the purpose was, and what the true purpose was, that I am going to be and make a place for you. And that's when he notifies them that when he's made to them in VaYigash. So he tells them over there that what pshat is, that what's the point of it, that God wanted to make it a plate of gedola. It says, don't be bad, feel bad that you sold me here. Why? Because God sent me here for you to make a place for you. My job was to prepare for you guys. So therefore, he realized finally what the challah meant, what the food was, and all the things, like we said, which they should have done originally, but they didn't do it because the anger was there. Therefore, he didn't bother thinking into it. But at that point, when he saw he can't be angry on his brothers, so then now what was his purpose of playing games? So why didn't he just tell them right away, I'm Yosef, and he wanted them to ask him mechila. In the end, it says the reason all the tzoros happened to Klal Yisrael and all the generations is because Yosef never forgave his brothers. What do you mean never forgave his brothers? They lived together for how many years? I made a cheshbon, 50-something years, 17. Plus he died 110, he's 39 when they came down. So it's 41 was... what do you call it? It's a long time. He's still alive with them. They're getting along with him very fast, pretty good. So what do you mean he didn't, what do you call it? I didn't forgive you. I can live with you. But it's like, you ever ask somebody to the Navla, forgive me? The guy says, forget it, it's okay, don't worry about it. Say the word, forgive me. I can't say the word, forgive you. I don't forgive you. But we can get along. We can go weiter.
The Rebbe used to learn all the years that he was Michael then. He just didn't say Bepen.
That's it. No, because Bepen means I'm Michael, but not in the heart.
He used to say that he was Michael then. He used to learn that he was Michael then. He just didn't say Bepen.
Who says that?
That's the Rebbe used to learn.
No. Shadi Avadid, this is emes, what you're saying.
So
But not, no, but once I said it, prepare, you're nimchal memela. I tell the kids, they say Krishma every night. And they got a party for a moichel to everyone to be anything bad today. When the Goofies have a money, moichel, and I said, are you really moichel them? Of course not. So he said, of course not. So how do you say it? So they say, what do you want to say? Say state and siddur. I said, you should know that now you say that, you're Ever and Isel of Sinus Chinam. The Sinus Chinam anyway, because it's only Sinus Chinam for hating for such reasons. Your sister, I really hate you, and I tell you I'm moichel you. If I'm moichel you money, I asked you, I owed you a debt, I asked you to moichel you. So do I say, I'm moichel you, and then I say, you still owe me $200? I owe you nothing. You're moichel me. That's the thing there. We're even. It's good. We're buddies. So once you say prepare, it's done. So then it's moichel. So whatever your feelings are, don't make a difference. The mechila is there. And the thing that's the problem with not saying prepare.
So Yosef lied to his brothers.
He didn't lie.
He said that the Eibush sent me here.
He said he sent me here. That's true.
So he's moichel now. He realizes
no. That's your saying. I can get along with you. I'm not moichel you. So you'll ask me, so what am I supposed to do in this case? But I'm not moichel you. The guy's asking me to be moichel him. I can't be moichel him. If I tell him a favor, I don't want to be moichel you. It's going to be, we're going to have a fight, no chamo, right? So what should I tell you? Tell me, I'll give you slicha. I don't give you a thing. If you ever think about why we say Yom Kippur the whole time, solachti kidvarecha. Why solachti? Why not say machalti kidvarecha? Why solachti? Because slicha is not mechila. Slicha goes for what? Slicha mechila kapara, right? It goes for shoigi, bezid, nanya, and lahachis. So for mezid is you need mechila. For shogeg, you need is slicha is enough. So let's see what pshat slicha. Okay, slicha is that you want to go through a crowd, and you're going to push, and you're going to push hard, and you're even going to give a guy a good shot the kishkis when you go past because he didn't move fast enough or far away enough. But you said, "Excuse me," and then you hit him. Right? Then the guy has no tightness. Ein davar. Okay, good. You can go by. If I would hit you in the stomach and say, push through, I want to get to the other side, not say the word excuse me, the guy will punch you in the nose. Or the thing goes. And so the word excuse me, you didn't mean it, even though it hurt me, I'm moichel you. I'm not moichel, I'm sleich you. Okay. Mechila is, I did something, I wanted to hurt you. I did something connected to your rotzen. And therefore, I need mechila. I forgive you. It means that kivul disappeared. It doesn't exist. Kaporas even, I need worse than that. So, if I accepted the word slicha from mezid, and since it's the wrong term, it's the church is excuse me, not meichel me, not forgive me. So, excuse me is a lesser of mechila than it. So what I find it means is I don't want you punished. If you take a look in the Torah VaYigash, it's exactly what happened. He says over there, VaYigash he doesn't say Salach Yidvarach. He says that Rashi just brings it on Ekev. That he says before Luchas Shnius, he says Salach Yidvarach. But by the Meraglim, he says first the Ben says, I want to kill you. I want to make you into an So Moshe Rabbeinu has a tefillah. So he says, Okay, I'm not going to kill them. I'm going to think that doesn't mean I'm finished with them. I'm not going to kill them. Then I'm done telling you. That doesn't mean I won't get oishim. Doesn't mean I'm going to be buddies with them. But you're not going to kill them. There's sometimes I don't want someone punished because of me. I know I do a lot of things wrong. I'm punished. I'd rather nobody get punished because of me, and therefore. But I don't want to be his friend either, because last time I told him all my secrets, he went and stole my business from me. So therefore, I'm not going to tell him anything anymore. So I'm not going to be his friend anymore. So what do you mean? You are my friend. And you think that I'm willing to give you slicha. I'm not willing to give you mechila. And that I think is a difference that you can do. And over here, but people are talking about want to be yachtov, that we forget about all the problems. We were two sisters. I'm picking two sisters. I'm giving two brothers the same thing. You know, they'll have a good scratching fight. Really angry at each other. Really think there, and 2 minutes later they're kissing each other. So what's the pshat? Pshat is that I love you really, right? Except that I had an argument with you, and I had a fight. Right? So it's also when we have no fight, we're buddies. There's no such thing as there was a fight. We never was angry at you. We never was angry. It doesn't exist. But with a stranger, with a friend, I think that I feel you did me an avla and stuff like that, I can't forgive you. So
but it's not the person. That's what Rebbe always learned.
Yeah, that's his emes.
So why can't it be in God's mechila? I don't understand.
Yeah, because
you're
right. You're 100%.
It was only their machshava.
In other words, whatever I want from you, I want you to do the right thing, right? If you do the wrong thing, the thing will come out through you. It would have happened anyway. It had nothing to do with you.
That's right.
I would have done it. You had the rotzen to do it. You're going to get punished for it.
But the Rebbe always says that Yenen's machshava, the whole time is on his machshava.
Right. So by machshava, you're not nenish for.
Swallow that.
So we're talking not nenish for machshava alone. If you didn't do a ma'aseh, you're not nenish. But if I do a ma'aseh with a thing there, I'll be nenish for it. Even though the fact that it was successful is because the Bein Shel made it successful. That has nothing to do with you. You still did the avera. You don't do the rotzen. A person is needing on his rotzen. That's all it is. Ma'asher shoyim imcha ki im liyira. Now, the mice is going to happen the same. But if you have yira shemayim, you don't get punished. You did it to rotzen, you're going to get punished. That's the difference. Oh, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen without you. That's for sure. So status has a lot to do with this.
Is not giving the complete mechila loisiter? Is Yosef not giving his brothers a complete mechila? Is that loisiter? Was he Avron?
But that ain't my business. I don't know. I can't answer that.
No, that's the question I'm saying. Is not giving.
I can't answer. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I can't do it. I just can't do it. But I'm willing to do it if you ask me mechila. See, that's why he cries the 3 times. All 3 times they realize there's 4 times he cries. One time I'm discounting, the one is when he saw Binyamin. Because that it says because his Rachamim came to his brother. But the first time he cried was when he hears them, when he takes Shimon and puts him in jail, he lets them out of jail. He says over there, ויאמר איש אלוהיו, אבל השם אנחנו הולכינו אשרינו בצורך נפשי וזכרנו אלינו ולשמענו. Okay, so you see there's a new concept that exists here. In justice, would you say there's a concept of rachmanis? Would you have a concept of rachmanis in justice? Right? The guy's chayiv me, you see you kill him. Right? It was kementon. Right? That there's no question about. But mashma brothers have a different chayiv. That my brother begged me and I didn't meichel him, that's a big aveira. And on that, Reuven tells him that, he never wasn't chayiv altogether. And all of a sudden, he hears it, and it says, what's the point of telling me he cried and he didn't cry? You already realize you did a chet. You did something wrong, that you realize. In other words, with Chana Elenu, you realize. Why don't you realize a little more that I didn't deserve it, like Reuven said? In other words, that you could reach that you did something wrong, but you can't hit the right point of what you did wrong. That's something to cry about. And this is all 3 times like that. The second time is, VaYigash, what's he say to Yehuda? Hashem says, by the end of the Kate's got he says this to them. Vayemi Yehuda, Manoim Ladini Malidav, Manitztakok, Motzes, Abayna Badecha. You didn't have Avera, right? And so aren't you sorry? You didn't have Avera? No, you don't sound like you're sorry. We're talking about I'm your brother that you sold, and I tell you, don't be sorry, don't be worried about it, but you guys should be over there crying. Oh, we're so sorry we did this, right? Nobody said a word about it, that they're sorry. Then I said, he runs out and he cries again. And then the third time when he says, your brother, that your father told us to tell you that you know, you shouldn't take it out on us, what we did to you. Again, we're not sorry we did it, because we thought we were right in doing what we did. And there's stuff like that. And he says, all 3 times, you don't ask me mechila. You can ask me. If you realize you did something wrong, but you just don't realize how much or what, that's the thing I'm crying about. We could have such shalom. And the thing, if you'd only realize it, I'd get it out of my heart, and I'd get all my tightness out, because then I don't have any tightness. You see you're wrong, so okay, I forgive you. A lot of times, what do you want? You want just the person to realize he did a navla. You don't want him to, you don't need him to be meshubit to you or anything else like that. Just say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. That's what you really want from
Here
him.
at VaYigash, they didn't do more of a tshuva. When Yosef tells them who he is and just
Right,
just
they don't do the tshuva, they don't do
than
nothing.
they did.
Exactly, they thought they're still right. In other words, we saw you, except that it happens to be good, not bad. So okay, good, so we're all happy. So I'm saying that, but within there, see, they should have jumped down and said. So he went out and cried. Okay. That's the thing, though. He also teaches us how to live among Golos, which is a very important thing. He's a melech, and either he realized it or not. I can't answer you. But the Kates, again in the Kates, it says over there they gave him food. How do they give him the food? Vayosimu loy levadei, him alone, v'lahem levadam, for them alone, v'amitzvah eichel misay yitoy levadam. Why? Ki lo yuchlon hamitzvah mlechel osivim lechem ki seyaves seyve hil mitzrayim. Now what Pshat is that Yosef says, I'm the king, I don't eat with my underlings. That's not what he says. I would eat with you. Oh, but the Mitzrayim won't eat with Yosef, because he eats meat. He's a barbarian. He happens to be the king. You're good. He's the king who's a barbarian. That's all. And remember, we use you. How you always feel it. They always. I guess any subjected country can live like that with that philosophy. You find the Chinese, when they were under England, were able to live with it. They had a queen. They had everything else. They used to think that the English were barbarians. In other words, the round eyes, whatever they call them, were barbarians because they have no manners, they have no, what do you call it? But they run the country? That's no big deal, so they run the country. You know, you're the cop, your cop's the public servant. It doesn't mean he's have to worry about him and stuff like that. He's a servant. Your job of a king is to make the kingdom run. So you do a good job. The smart Jew would put you in charge. Okay, fine. Of Lamaisa, are you a good person? You're an animal. They're not even machshiv the teva of a yid. So that's the part to make them to keep the fact, because we're going to want in Golas to assimilate. That's what the Yidden are going to want. Why are they going to want it? I guess not everybody can live with bizyonis. I want to be looked up to. I don't want to be looked down upon. So very little this thing often. I mean, what the flyer, I don't know if you see these ads, if you're watching the computer sometimes with the thing there. The World Jewish Congress keeps on advertising. World Jewish Congress is not an Orthodox organization, right? They show you pictures of Yidden, from a Yidden, Chasana, thing, and davening, Yamels, everything is there. We are the ones who defend Jews all over the world Jewish Congress, right? An old man is talking there. He's talking, what's Zoktom here there? He's taking, all of a sudden, I realize the world hates us, so so now you're my brother. Before then, I don't want to be your brother. I don't know your brother. If you ever read, what's his name's, Wokes, This Is My God, he goes into how Frei Yidden used to look at the former Yidden. They didn't want to be associated with him. We're not the same. He wears those clothes, he looks like that. That's not us. I wear the fancy stuff, I wear this and this, and look like anybody else does and stuff like that. Don't associate me with him. We have no shaykhs one with the other. And that's why when they originally, the Reforms used to put the Jews out in different towns in the country, because they didn't want to live in New York with them. And over there, the Freie were very involved in this. Years ago, the history of Reform and conservatism. So that's the first thing. And he tells them the same thing. He tells, I want you to tell them that, what he called, I'm going to tell Paro, what do you do for a living? Nobody should let you live there. Because Mitzrayim doesn't like Royetzoin. So therefore, if you want to be left alone in the thing there, they'll be looked at there the bad ways. My wife used to say this all the time, that Kolzman the Yidden with the lawyer and the doctor, that they didn't bother them, that they paid you money for your services, they'll pay you good money. We went to the smart Jew and he did his thing there. When you want the 50-yard line on the football game, then all of a sudden we hate you. Because that's our world, that's not your world. Your world, you can have the book, you can be the people of the book, that you could be, that doesn't bother us. You want to be the people of the football game, that bothers us, yeah, because we want the football seats, not you. Okay, and that a lot of it came because of that. But Pari, on the other hand, wanted the Jews to assimilate. We find this side by Shechem, wanted it. Remember, his convinced speech to the people of Shechem was, if we do the Milah, then they'll become part of us. We'll take over their properties and their stuff like that. But also, we're going to do business together. It'll be very prosperous. It's good for the prosperity of the country if we keep the Jews happy. Okay, that's a good zach, right? But I want the Jews to be Mitzrayim. I don't want it to be Jews and stuff like that. So this is a little bit different than Rashi. Rashi goes into the point of by the end of VaYigash, it's a Seder Stuma. Normally a Seder ends with a Parsha. The fact that we put 3 pages or 3 things, and that's just the point to show at the end of the Seder. But in the Torah it appears just as a Parsha. In other words, there's a Pei or a Samach there that ends the thing there. This one is mamish in the middle of the Parsha. So Rashi teaches up, they teach it. Vayeshiv Yisrael be'eretz Mitzrayim be'eretz Goshen. So what's it say? Vayeshiv Yisrael be'eretz Mitzrayim v'heichon, and where? Be'eretz Goshen. That's how Rashi teaches it. I want to tie that it's not like that. There's one pasuk, Amamish, I don't know how to teach. Parshas Vav in Vem Zayin. The words don't translate. I don't know how to translate the words. Eretz Mitzrayim l'fanecha hi. You have Eretz Mitzrayim b'meitav ha'aretz ha'yishvis avichas avecha. I want you to put your brothers and fathers in the Mitzrayim in the meitav ha'aretz. Yeshvu, it's an esnachta. Yeshvu be'eretz Goshen. They sit in the Eretz Goshen. Who's the Yeshvu? V'im yadati. Okay, so else you want to take out the snachta. Hoishivis avicha v'sachech avicha v'sachech Yeshvu be'eretz Goshen. So then hoishivis v'meitvarotz hoishiv who? So I don't know what they're talking about. So whatever it is, I don't know the taich.
Maybe it's Goshen of Mitzrayim.
Huh?
Mitzrayim.
So again, so now it's Goshen and Mitzrayim. So in other words, he's just talking 2 names in the same pasuk, right? That's what he told me. Okay, I want to time out like that. Let's see what it says right there. Vayeshiv Yosef v'Esachiv v'Shvi, the first pasuk Vayshvi. Vayeshiv Yosef v'Esachiv v'Esachiv vayitem lem achuzah be'eretz Mitzrayim meita'otz be'eretz Ramtzis kasher tzibur parach. Doesn't say anything about Goshen. Where was Goshen? What is when he tells the brothers, I want you to go down and tell Yaakov to come. He said, I see love ve'atu le'atem shlachartem, yep. V'amartem elav kol yom abin chayoyis malakim odem yebe'yizikor ve'elav v'yashavti ve'eretz Goshen. You live in Eretz Goshen, not in Eretz Mitzrayim. Because Eretz Mitzrayim, whatever the stories are that supposedly he wouldn't go to Eretz Mitzrayim, you only go to Eretz Goshen because it belonged to Sora, whatever it is, Mitzrayim, I don't know. But whatever it is, that the pshat is that I'm not coming to Eretz Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim says treifa place, I won't live there. But Pali said, I want them living in Mitzrayim. I don't want them living in Eretz Goshen because then they're separate from us. I want them Eretz Goshen. So what happened? They have two houses. In other words, you had your weekend home, and you went home for Shabbos, and then the weekends you stood in Eretz Mitzrayim. You became assimilated. You went down to Memtes Shari Tumah because you're part of us. And stuff like that. And therefore it says, Vayeshiv Yisrael be'eretz Mitzrayim be'eretz Goshen. They made Eretz Goshen into Eretz Mitzrayim. They made it and went them out. Why does it end over here? Vaychi Yaakov. Rashi says again, why does it say Vaychi Yaakov Lama Parshas Ustuma? Because the Nisnum Einayim She Yisrael, because of Mises Yaakov and the goals. Right? What's the first pasuk it says? Vaychi Yaakov, Yaakov lived. So it's like Yaakov died, Yaakov lived. I think this. So what said is that's the goals. When you live in the same area of the Gadol, and you do the same thing you did as if he's not there, that means you disregard, he has no influence over you anymore, then you're in goals. Then you're finished. And that's what it's telling you. They became so, whatever part, they took over Mitzrayim, but who was alive? Yaakov's alive, the Shvatim are alive, the Mishpachas are alive, and the people doing run to the Memtes Shari Tumah. How do you go to the Memtes Shari Tumah? Your parents are alive, this is like this. It's okay, do it. What did you do years ago? What do you do there? We have the Shivas Chuvas on it. How do you eat by children that were Shabbos and stuff? I never liked to be tray, whatever that is. You know, the father, whatever it was, he forced to or he truly believed it, that his children never lied to him. So okay, so it's his head to live there. But he knew they Machal Shabbos. In fact, they had people that used to wake up their kids to go to work on Shabbos. Because I got to get them out of bed. I had to go there. They're not going to shul. They're going to work. But I got to get them to go to work. I mean, what do you think? That's part of the job. There was no bezoyan anymore after a while. If we live together and I act the same way as I always acted, there's no more bezoyan anymore living among Yaakov Avinu and stuff like that. That was the goals. And the stuff that they were able to do this while Yaakov was alive, that's what made the goals. If they had at least a busha of Yaakov, the thing, it wouldn't have happened. And we would have always had somebody to be embarrassed, of course. And the dinner, it is like that. A Machal Shabbos V'Fahesia, if he's still embarrassed from one person, the rabbi, it's enough he's not Machal Shabbos V'Fahesia, he can count it to a minion and stuff like that. Why? Because he's not a kaifa. He's a tayov of the connection. Guy who doesn't count, it's a lesson, but it don't make sense. The rabbi he's embarrassed for, and his friends he's Machal Shabbos in front of, because his friends he tells him, I know you guys don't really believe in Shabbos anyway. You're just doing it because it's an act. I don't act, so I don't mind going against Shabbos. But Yana, he believes in it, so in front of him I can't do it. Therefore, remember, they don't do it. Now, I think we also learn how we're supposed to learn the Chumash. The Torah counts all the people that went into Mitzrayim, right? And it says, "Bnei," where does it go here? Eile b'nei Leah asher yodel Yaakov pan Avraham es dina bita and kol nefesh b'nei b'nei shloshim v'sholish. 33. Count them. 32. You can't count. Even better. Right? The Torah says, Kol ha-nefesh abor li-Yaakov mitzrayim ha-yotz yerech uvad nishem ha-Yaakov nefesh shishim v'sheish, 66, right? B'nei Yosef asher yulad lo mitzrayim nefesh shnoyim, 68, and Yosef himself was 69. Kol ha-nefesh beis Yaakov abor mitzrayim ha-shivim, 70. Can't add. We all know it means Yechevet. Until we learned Rashi, we just said these psukim, and they never registered in my mind. That what are you talking about? You know, don't make sense. That can't count, and stuff like that. All of us, we don't learn what we learn. It doesn't make a difference. And I say the same thing goes when we learn Gemara. And the Gemara brings in a pasuk, right? So does anybody ever check and find out how does he learn from the pasuk to the drasha? Or they say, the Gemara says that's the drasha, that's the drasha. They take its word for it. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. What's the difference? If you don't look into what the drasha is, firstly you'll know sometimes it's from the end of the pasuk, the beginning of the pasuk, and then the thing doesn't depend on the printer, we put the chulu or not the chulu. You don't understand what the yisur is. You don't even understand what the yisur is because I take the Gemara's word for it. It's also, that's all. But what is the yisur? I don't know. I'm saying, therefore, you look it up, and you think it's kedai to look up. We take everybody's word for everything. The Gemara over there says different, take its word for it. You know, stuff, but look it up. Maybe it doesn't say different. Maybe you have a teretz. Maybe it's something there you think of. But I don't. Okay. So it's time I say a point of blame. Anyway, he sends Yehuda to make the yeshiva, and he wanted to make the yeshiva, and obviously wasn't very successful because it was too late, too little too late, as they say. What should Yosef have done? Now, maybe we didn't have enough time, because Mashpeh Vayisi Yosef al Chalomis only happened after he saw them. So it means it's how many months is it between the time that he saw them the first time to the second time? Maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I don't know any month. But whatever it is, it's a trip back and forth and to eat up the food. Whatever it is that you have to, so whatever it was, in those 3 months, he should have made up an answer of what to do. Like what made Kal Yisrael produce the Bavel? That he had the Hezgiah and the Chersh and the Hezgiah, right? So they built up when they came down 11 years earlier with Yochanan, before the Churban, and before Tzidkiyahu. So they built up the kosher butcher shop, the pizza store. They've been laughing on a joke with the pizza store. I see that because people. There was a town, a rich town, willing to pay many, many years ago $60,000 a younger man, and they never were able to open a kernel there because they didn't have a pizza store. And you think they say, "What are you guys crazy?" And then I'll sell you pizzas in the mail. I mean, that's your problem. It's not the same thing. Friday afternoon, I don't have to bother with my kids. You go to the pizza store, and I don't have to make your lunch. I'm working Shabbos, whatever it is, though, from there. That thing made a difference. Okay? We don't have a pizza store here, so we don't have that appreciation. But I'm telling you, if you have a pizza store, you know exactly what a pizza store means. So they set up all these things, the shul, the beis midrash, and everything else. So when they came down, there were places for them to learn, to daven. They say the Mir Yeshiva, even if you're reading their own book, on this, they talked about when they came in, I think the Beis Aaron synagogue, whatever it is there, was built by a Fry Iraqi Jew. And the Fry was trying to do some kind of tshuva. And it was exactly the size for the Mir Yeshiva. They didn't have an extra place for anybody. But they had enough room for everybody. and the thing goes there. So that was the Benishon knew I'm sending it down over there. So there's going to be a shul built up there. There'll be a place for you to learn. There'll be a place for that, and then they're going to leave you alone there. And that's the thing there. But if you didn't have it, if I have 10 guys in this house and 10 guys in this house, and then it doesn't work the same way. You don't have that chapura. You don't
This
have.
successful yeshiva came to a nothing, and this successful yeshiva right here came to a nothing and established in a new neighborhood a successful yeshiva.
Yeah, but it took years. It was not. It didn't fit in. It wasn't made. We had to make it. It was made for them. They started off with a bang. How many years were there in Shanghai altogether? 3 to 4 years. That's all.
I'm comparing to Yehuda though. Like,
oh, so I'm saying, so he's coming down to make it with the guys. Meanwhile, you have the Yetzaharas are all out there.
that's how this place.
No, we don't have Yetzaharas here. The guys came to Yeshiva. They're not here in the street. But over there, they came to live.
It was less than what they had in Goshen or whatever. I don't know what was in Goshen. Put him on.
No,
the
no,
side.
man, they took over the land. They see there's no businesses here. There's no what do you call it
They
here.
went to an area with
We're
nothing.
free to open
They
up.
went to an area with nothing but a yeshiva. They went to Goshen that only
Yeah,
had-
I understand. And who is he going to make a yeshiva for? There's no Talmidim. At least over there, by the there was Talmidim at least. They came down. Here to be nobody, but at least he'd have a building. He'd have something. He didn't prepare anything for them. In other words, they came down. So therefore, I don't know. What shot is the first day in school. We got to find a place to learn, right? What are the kids doing? They go to the playground. They go to play with the shkotzim in the street. They go to this thing. So all of a sudden, now you want to schlep them out of the street into the Beis Medrash. It ain't going to go so easy anymore. If you would have gotten right away, okay, kids into school. That's it. It would have been done. Nothing. I don't know. I'm just saying, but because obviously it wasn't successful. They went down to the Memter Shari.
But I wouldn't think it was from that, right? That generation all came, and the first 70 years that Asik and Shiva, they slowly built up the greater infrastructure by the time Yocheved becomes.
I'm saying, so that maybe that's it was too slow. That's what I'm saying. If they would have been prepared, they would have had the building already. Would have had this. Didn't have to go buy the building. Didn't have to go this thing. It would have been a lot easier. I don't know. I wasn't there, so but you got to understand what is this moon of Memte Shari Tumah, because we're going to have it again in Shmois all over the place. The thing there that they were the Memte Shari Tumah. As I say, I don't know what Memte Shari Tumah are. I didn't go down to check off the list what they are. One thing I know, Jews were not Mazane, right? As they stated by Shlemis Vasdivli. There was nobody in Klal Yisrael who was Mazane. So we're up to 48, not 49, right? Anybody a murderers in Klal Yisrael? I don't think there's any murderers in Klal Yisrael. So we're up to 47. So why are you saying Memte Shari Tumah, right? So I want to tell you that Memte Shari Tumah is not a number of things. It's an attitude of how you treated all the Yetzaharas that there are in the world. If you treat them without a Kabbalah, you treat them that each one is going to figure out what to do, then you're going to have problems. And I think like Shlemis Bastivri would be the biggest case of the Shaykh in this. In other words, I'm assuming she was a pretty woman. I have no idea if she was or she wasn't. But she was a pretty woman. She's the wife of the Medrash of Dossa. She's Dossan's wife. And she has to pass this hard hat area. The hard hat area is the guys who go with the fingers in their mouth and they get that big whistle and they make all the nivel pep they can have out of it and what do you call it. And it's very embarrassing and stuff like that. And she comes to the idea, what I'm going to do about this, I'm going to become their friend. And therefore they won't be able to do this. So the next morning he says, hiya boys, I'll go coffee for everybody, if you want a coffee and this and that. And one of the Mitzrayim says she's coming on to me. And therefore he goes and what does he do? He beats Buzz Dawson up and whatever it is there, and he goes there and pretends he's Dawson because there's no lights. And whatever again, he lives there and he gets a kid from him and stuff like that. It wouldn't have happened if we would have been separate. Oh, but she's coming on to us. Now, what made her think that? Because she became friendly with them. So they think, why'd you become friendly? We're being insulting to you. Elavos, you try to handle it with your own spoilers. The same thing, Radav Aviyu. an Ezora. Then like Tzivesa, I didn't tell you to, but you brought it with your own seichel. In other words, we have to Shnei Kisri Eitzim, and whatever Eitzim that they learned it from. But they learned it from that they feel they have to bring this. Without asking. Moshe Rabbeinu is right there, ask him. What do you feel? Should we do it or shouldn't we do it? Right? All these things, the people acted on their own, the Meraglim, when they thought it's a choice that they're having. We don't feel we want to go to Eretz Yisrael, so we don't have to go. And stuff like that, because we're not here because God told us to do it. No, the Messiah was gone. And it was without Messiah, everyone's doing it because they're trying themselves to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Each one makes up his own terrors to an extent that it's a big problem. And therefore, that's why the thing is not the point that they were shkotzim. They were meant to Shari Tumah because they didn't know how to get out of it. They were in there because the things is they were doing their own ways of trying to get out of it. But by that, they sometimes put themselves worse and worse into it. And that was the problem. Okay, one thing also later on, I think we once spoke about why they didn't want the Chivi into Klal Yisrael. I don't know if we spoke about that again in Vayichi, when Yosef brings his kids, right? It's Menashe Seforim, right? You know, way before that Ya'akov puts Efraim before Menashe, says, "Hey Yifochi veYisrael Simcha Likim Efraim veMenashe," and he puts Efraim before Menashe. He put Efraim before Menashe. He says, "Vayemei Eloi Hini Mafrevesi V'ata Shnei Banecha Ne'loidon L'chol Be'eretz Mitzrayim Adbo Yelechem Mitzrayim Elihem Efraim and Menashe Kiruvim Shemiyeli." So he put Efraim before Menashe right away. So what do you tell me later on by the bracha, which is a page later? He first said that the first one is because to Yosef, who's his two sons, Menashe and Ephraim. Menashe is the one he's training to be the next chief, and Ephraim he can be the learner, right? But it's Menashe and Ephraim. When he comes to Yaakov Avinu, who's he learning with all day long? With Ephraim. He doesn't know Menashe. Menashe shows up every so often. So you tell him, well, what's your grandson's name? Oh, Ephraim. Because that's the first thing you think of. So that doesn't prove you put him first. But when I tell you, that will tell him put him first. Okay. So then he said, but it says over you want to give him a bracha. So it says, "Vayem Yisrael's ben Yosef Vayem Mi'ela." Who's these guys? So Rashi says Mi'ela because he saw Reuven and Achav coming out of Menashe and whatever, and still don't hear it. Yehu, right, coming out of Menashe. And the thing of, even though Yehu was shouting, not to be the tzaddik altogether. I mean, we're not going into the things of whatever it is, but that's what he said. So, okay, good, fine. What was the problem with it? And then all of a sudden he shows us the star, right? He took out his star of what do you call it, and he saw the name Osnas. Oh, that's why he says doesn't say Shtar Kedushin. Brought out the Shtar Ksuba. And there state the name who he owes the money to. Osna, that's my granddaughter, so I know already where they came from. She's Achivi, and Achivi has certain midas that they're actors, and therefore I see this chesol, but they're all chesol. It's ours already. Something's our chesol and we can live with. If you think in a fremde chesol, oh, that's terrible. So Avram Melech always wanted to keep the Chivi out and stuff like that, and that's what we find over there. That he that even Esav had to tell you that who was Olivama Shleimish Bas not Shleimish what do you call it, Yehudis Bas Yehudis Bas Beiri HaChiti. He's a chiti, not a chivi, because a chivi never would have let him into Klal Yisrael. Because Avram Avinu was afraid of that, so they didn't let him into chivi. Why not? Because they were actors. They were actors. You find all the mices in the Gemara of acting. Who were the cities that made shalom with Yeshua, when they came to our place? Chivis and stuff like that. They were able to put up a good act. You believe them. Because you believe them, you don't know who you are. An actor, there's a certain method in acting that they tell that you have to live the life of the one you want to act like. And so the idea is, because through that you get to appreciate. So that means I'm becoming a person that's not me. That's the point that is there. So all of a sudden, an actor is going to land up. It could be a Gadol Hador, and at the same time being a Chayte Machtis Yisrael. Or he can be so contradictory. He's an Av Lashem. I mean, he's a Ach of. He's a brother. He's a brother Lashem and Av La'aved Zorah. And Av La'aved Zorah. And it's not a contradiction. You can be both, because you're not who you are. You're not anything else. So there's a mile of being who you are. About the Venishim B'dafki stuck it into us. He made it Klal Yisrael happen whether we liked it or not. He came into it. So why did he bring it into us? I assume because with Gullus, we have to put on an act in Gullus. We have to pretend, we come, this is Choshev, this is not Choshev, and we know what the real truth is, but we still have to act out what the thing is, what the world thinks of it, in order that we should be accepted, that we just alone or whatever it is there. And therefore, maybe it's part of the thing. So it's an important part of us in Gullus that we should be actors and stuff like that. That's why the Beishim put it in. From that guy, it came out some halachot in my mind, that a person, that if a guy becomes a girl, so the midas that are genetic do not disappear. In other words, that's so the Amen Amoyev are not makatayv, that remains. Achav v'chotichia, that remains until you can get it out. That's a lot easier to get out, because makatayv can't get out even on safe koladeras. But the other one is 3 dairas is enough. A guy is a cruel person, you can also get it out, like the Mitzrayim. Those things you can get out. But learn to me this, that disappears right away. Those are gone completely. But the genetic midas, those are the ones that stay. And this happens to be a genetic midah. In other words, whatever milah each nation has is anything. And I said, I was very surprised. I was reading the Mirror book, and they say Vechter on the Yidden, which I don't know who says it, and I think I mentioned this before once. I don't know who says it. They've said is, what favor did I ever do him that he hates me so? That means that you're telling me we're not makatayv. That's what you're telling me. Right? I did him a favor. So what favor did I do him that he so doesn't want to be makatayv to me, that he hates me so much? What are you talking about? You're not makatayv. So much we say we're not. The Japanese, they were talking about the Japanese. So the guy who made the foreign minister, whoever it was, who made the axis with Nazi Germany, greeted them when they came. And he says, don't think that we agree with the same shitas as the Germans, that we're anti-Semites, we already caught, and I happen to be, we want to pay back to the good, Jacob Schiff loaned them the money to win the war against Russia in 1905. No country in the world would loan money except Jacob Schiff. And he got other monies that they had there, and they were able to beat the Russia in that time. Because that's how we owe them such a cost, I tell you, that we want to become one nation with them. We want to do the very we can for them and stuff like that. That was the speech that this guy made, the Nazi lover, if you want to call him that. Right? They were afraid of his speech. So they're makatayv and we're not makatayv. Don't make no sense. They're saying don't, but that's what they brought down. That's what the meat is. There was also other midas. Remember, Machlis used to tell me about the Japs, that they get very angry, very fast. In other words, or or they put on the act that I show displeasure with you to know that you should know I'm angry at you. And if I'm supposed to be friends with you, I treat you nice. I take you to the bathhouse. I take you to the what he called, and he's describing this whole mitzvah. After he said, why they hate the Jews so it's the stuff, and so afterwards he told them take them to the bathhouse. When they first came, he started yelling at him, why do the Germans hate you so much? Because they wanted 100,000 Jews. The Japanese, they had no middle class. So they wanted middle class. They knew the Jews are good for money. So they wanted a middle class. So they volunteered to take 100,000 Jews from the Germans. You don't have to kill them, we'll take them. And then Hitler got very upset about it. Like the audience say, how come you going to kill those low lives and this thing there? So yes, how come they hate you so much? Because we're Asians. So I happen to have heard the answer to that story. The story doesn't end over there. That's what they tell you in the book. And it's a cute story, and everyone smiles when they have it, but I happen to have heard the end of it from a guy from the, what's that place in California with the Holocaust? The who?
Wiesenthal.
Well, the Wiesenfeld thing, the Wiesenfeld place. So he always used to go to, he lived in Chicago. He went to my Aiden Zdaf Yavis. He used to come in. So he says, I happened to be in Japan. I learned at the end of that story. He says, what happened was when he asked him, how do you know? He said, we're Asian. He says, how do you know? That's what they hate you for. He told him that in this date, in the Yom Shinov 11, that in this date, a Jap wanted to marry, or they married a German, and they sent her home. They sent the Japanese woman. They sent her home. And then there's an article in the paper about how they want to keep the races separate, and because they're low lives races and stuff like that. And they had the copy of all the newspapers from the thing talking. So they sent the guy to find it, and they found the article. And he sent them to the bathhouse. I was going to take it to the bathhouse. So I know they're not my friends, the Germans. They're my enemies. So it's a potato for quiet, so it was the story. And we have our good Shabbos, everybody.